All right. What's up, everybody? My people in Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, all Staten Island, my homeboro Brooklyn, and all my Giants fans out there. It's be another entry, the greatest of all time series for Super Bowl week. This is gonna be on the 1986 New York Football Giants, who are without doubt, in my mind, the greatest Giants team ever, and one of the greatest teams of all time in NFL history, but also one of the most underrated defenses in NFL history. I think the Giants defense of the 80s and 90s, with basically from 86 to about 90, I think that defense is underrated. Okay, especially the 86 team being the best. You see here, Carl Banks, 53, Harry Carson, 53, and the great Lawrence Taylor. But look at the Giants' defense statistics: two in two in points allowed, two in yards allowed, fourth in turnovers created. Like they were great. Of course, the Bears of that era were number one more than likely, but the Giants were just were right there. Were right there on their ass. And, of course, Lawrence Taylor's in the Hall of Fame. They had great players. The deep line, Jim Burt, Larry Marshall, George Martin, and then later on Pepper Johnson. They had linebacker, of course, the great Lawrence Taylor, who's arguably the greatest player in the history of the NFL. Yeah, Carl Banks, the great outside linebacker who probably should be in the Hall of Fame. Harry Carson, the Mike linebacker, who's in the Hall of Fame. The defensive backs you had in 1990, you had Dave Duerson, rest in peace. Who was on the '85 Bears. He committed suicide because of CTE. And you had Everson Walls, who's probably a Hall of Famer. He has 58 career interceptions as a cornerback. And you had Mark Phillips as a cornerback as well, who used to frustrate the hell out of Jerry Rice, man. The '86 Giants, man, they were one of all-time great teams in defense. Offensively, you had Phil Simms, you had the great Otis O.J. Anderson, the running back Joe Morris, and the tight end Mark Bavaro. The Giants were a legit team. Of course, overall, they only have two Hall of Famers, Lawrence Taylor and Harry Carson, but still, they were a perfect unit. They lost opening day to Dallas, 38-21, but according to Lawrence Taylor, he just let the running back for the Cowboys, he let him score. Because according to LT, he was just tired. That was his excuse. He was tired, so he just let him score. So the Giants could have gone 15-1. You could have had 3 straight years of team going 15-1 and win the Super Bowl. The '84 Niners, the '85 Bears, and the '86 Giants. But as you see, they went on to run the tape. They ran the table. They lost to Seattle 17-12, but blew out the Eagles, defeated the Raiders, the Saints, the Chargers, the Eagles, the Vikings. Like the Giants just, of course, in the regular season finale against the Green Bay Packers, they just obliterated them 55-24. The Giants. And of course, every time the Giants win the Super Bowl, we always play a Super Bowl opponent in the regular season. Of course, this being the Denver Broncos, beat them 19-16. And Harry Carson, he did an interview with Ray Lewis and other all-time great middle linebackers. And he said that season, they didn't care who got the credit. They just wanted to win. So they were a perfect oil machine, one conglomerate. They were one unit. Okay, they went 14-2, which is great. They annihilated the 49ers, 49-3. And in the words of Lawrence Taylor, Lawrence Taylor's from Virginia, so he's country. That was just a good old-fashioned ass whooping we gave him. Yeah, beat the living shit. Who was it? I think it was Leonard Marshall. Hit Joe Montana and broke his back, just knocked him out unconscious. Lawrence Taylor intercepted the pass, took it back to the house. Beat the all-time great 49ers offense, 49-3. Shut out the Washington Redskins, an NFC Championship game, division rival. I consider the Giants-Redskins a bigger rivalry than the Redskins-Cowboys. Just me, especially back in that era. Monday Night Football was king back in that era. It was mainly because of the Giants. Giants-Eagles on Monday night, Giants-Redskins Monday night. Of course, that's when Joe thought the guy's leg broke in half by LT. Redskins-Eagles Thursday night, or excuse me, Monday night. Giants-49ers Monday night. Like that era, Monday Night Football, if you watch the games on YouTube, and my father always tells me that was a great era for Monday Night Football because of that division. Of course, it's a Super Bowl championship ring, but like I said, man, and they just beat the living shit out of John Elway and the Broncos. Carl Banks, Harry Carson, LT, all stopped the Broncos. The Broncos were damn near the goal line, and they stopped, and all three of those guys made a play to stop John Elway from scoring and the Broncos from scoring, and beat them 39-20. Hang on to beat them 39-20 and win Super Bowl 21, the first Super Bowl in the history of the Giants franchise, and fortunately not the last. But what do y'all think about the '86 Giants? Of course, Lawrence Taylor was the league MVP that year and the Defensive Player of the Year. Dude had 20 and a half sacks, the first man to record 20 sacks in a season. He was the second defensive player to win the MVP, the first being the great defensive tackle Alan Page for the Minnesota Vikings, the Purple People Eaters. He won in 1970. LT, man, that's probably the greatest defensive season a defensive player's ever had, ever. Look, the greatest season overall. There's no one like Lawrence Taylor. 1981, 1990, 10 Pro Bowls, 8-time first team All Pro, 3 Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, and Player of the Year in the same season, 81. Likes the league MVP. None like Lawrence Taylor, man. Lawrence Taylor, of course, he's the great Harry Carson was in the Hall of Fame. He retired after the 1988 season. Of course, he's the great Carl Banks, who probably at least should be in strong consideration for the Hall of Fame. I don't know if he's ever been a finalist, but Carl Banks definitely has a case. He won multiple Super Bowls. He was part of a great team, the Giants in the 80s, and then later on joined the Cleveland Browns. It was great for them in the 90s. So currently you have 2 Hall of Fame players. Probably you have 3. And if Everson Walls ever gets in, you probably have 4. Because I think he has 58 interceptions, Everson Wall does, like I said. But what do y'all think, man? All my Giants fans out there, the 86 Giants, greatest team ever. If not, comment down below. Like the video, subscribe, and help a young brother grow on YouTube, man. Shout out to the 86 Giants, greatest Giant team ever. All right, see you all.